The new Health Secretary, Victoria Atkins, is supposed to be making political history and is supposed to be saving the Conservative Party. That's what apparently we're going to hear tomorrow. In the meantime, we know, she's already put it out, that she has, quote, respect for striking junior doctors ahead of the pay talks which are going to happen shortly, and this is in contrast to Steve Barclay's belligerent approach, where he was saying that these were politically timed walkouts and that they were and that they were a militant group. They'd taken a politically militant stance. So Atkins is saying instead that she wants to understand the doctors, and they should understand the government is not going to be able to meet some of their asks, but that she's prepared to enter into a conversation, into a discussion with them with a constructive frame of mind. And a deal has already been reached with consultants in England to end some of the dispute over pay this week. And so it is now a matter of tying up the loose ends, which is the junior doctors. The deal on the table should see some doctors earning more money from January, though it won't get paid until April. But the junior doctors' dispute remains still to be sorted out. It's unresolved. And they want a 35% pay rise, and the government has agreed only to a 6% pay rise plus £1,250 in line with the recommendations from an independent review body. Not enough for the unions. But Ms. Atkins will not call these the BMA militant. She says, she was reported today as saying, "I can only speak as I find, and I had the pleasure of meeting the two leaders of the BMA Junior Doctors Committee, and I found them to be very constructive. I'm not going to be able to meet some of their asks. I think they understand that. But what I do want to look at is not just pay, but also that we value them as members of the workforce. Of course, I respect junior doctors. I have admiration for our doctors, but also for nurses and our volunteers, as well she should. Who knows when we're going to be in a position where we need their help. And, it's an essential... being a junior doctor is an essential part of that training scheme that doctors go through here in the NHS, and it's a learning curve, and we are getting in the way of that curve with these strikes and with this nonsense and with the contempt which Barclay and others have showered on the doctors, and I think at this point it's worth saying that the senior administrators, the senior bureaucrats in the NHS are on such extraordinarily healthy pay schemes they wouldn't even think of striking. They don't need money, and yet what do? They preside over a system which is creaking, where the bureaucracy doesn't work, where you're very lucky to get the drugs that are prescribed because the system doesn't work. The area that needs reform in the NHS is not the doctors or the nurses, but the bureaucracy. Get that right, and the system might work. And Wes Streeting, the Labour Shadow Health Secretary, has said Labour's mission is to get our NHS back on its feet and fit for the future. A neighbourhood health service that gets to patients faster, treats them quicker, and prevents ill health. The only way to do that is to sort out the bureaucracy and to make the doctors, the nurses, feel more valued, which probably means paying them as much as we possibly can. So, in fact, I said the only way. There are two ways. So pay and getting rid of the rubbish.